Frontiers was the update that changed everything on us, and for glitch building it meant we all started from scratch. But man, what glorious days are we having in the glitch building community. Today I would like to go over all techniques that have been discovered so far and will change your way of building forever. What do we mean with glitch building? It means you are taking advantage of the delay between your controls and the game registering those inputs. Because of that delay, you can place building parts in positions where the game generally would not allow you to. Before Frontiers, we had up to 5 techniques that were available for us to build with. But now, we have a massive toolbox of 12 techniques in total. Now, some of them have become obsolete over time, as other techniques have taken their place and are way better at getting the job done. We can divide the techniques into 4 categories. There are adjacency-based, wire-based, cache-based, and one non-glitch technique. I will be going over most of these techniques and skim over the ones that are rather obsolete now. Before we jump into these techniques, I would like to emphasize that this can take some time for you to master each and one of them. For each technique, you will be pressing a combination of 2 keys. Take note during this tutorial that I will be using terms like pressing first or giving priority to. That is because there is a slight delay between those buttons, but the timing is so minuscule it will feel as if you're pressing them at the same time. Let us begin with the adjacency glitch. This glitch replaces one part with the part adjacent to it, hence the name. Now, since Frontiers, we can only glitch in one direction anymore, which is to the right. That means from this part to this part, this can be glitched to this part, and this one to this one, and so on. For our first example, let us pick the large paving here. And the aim is to replace that large paving with the small paving next to it in the menu. So we can use this part to place this part instead on the same location. We will be pressing 2 buttons for this glitch, and I will be sharing them on screen so each builder can use them on their own platform. And I will do that for every glitch that we're showing today. For the adjacency glitch, we need the cycle action and the build action. So the plan is to cycle our part and at the same time press the build button. Remember, we need to give a slight priority to cycle. In this case here, this will result in us replacing the large paving with the small paving instead. Take note that I replaced the small paving to be located at the exact same center point of where the large paving used to be. This technique can be applied to each adjacent building part in your menu. I can, for example, do the same with the light floor to the emergency heater. And as you can see, the heater took over the same position as where the light floor would have been. The adjacency glitch is the foundation of a few other glitches, which are the scale glitch and the menu jump. Now, I will be skipping over the menu jump as there are better techniques out there for better and easier results. But if you want to see what it's all about, I will link it in the description of this video. While there are also better ways to scale building parts now, this scale glitch can be handy if you need to do some quick and simple scaling, although it's limited to just a few parts. The scale glitch takes advantage of parts being next to a scalable item. The idea is that you scale up a building part and then use the adjacency glitch to build the part next to it in the same scale ratio. For example, I would take the illuminated sign here and then scale it up like this. And now we perform an adjacency glitch. The lightbox will then be built and scaled in the same ratio as the illuminated sign. So, depending on the scale of the previous part, the glitch part will take over the same scale of it. This applies to every part that is adjacent to a scalable item. For example, this divider, which is right next to the awning, we can simply scale up or down that awning and then adjacency glitch to the divider to build it into the different scale. This is the scale glitch. As I said, we will not be covering the menu jump, so let's just move on straight to the next category of glitches, which is the wire glitches. The original wire glitch has been around for a long time, and since its discovery by Kibbles, it has been the origin of many other wire-related techniques. So let me begin with explaining the wire glitch and move forward from there. The first thing we notice is that when we place a wire connector against the wall, it will be following the surface of that wall. With the wire glitch, we will be replacing the wire connector with a building part of your choice. That building part will be following the direction of how your connector is placed. Let me show you an example, and let us glitch another wall against this side here. So, let us duplicate the wall. As you can see, I have that wall now at hand. The first thing we need to do is toggle from the wall to the wire, which is done by simply pressing the button right here. That will now show you the wire connector that follows the surface of your wall here. The plan is now to do a similar action as we did with the Adjacency Glitch, and that is the little delay double button press. As you can see, by pressing the toggle wire, the wall is still in the memory of the game, so we can use this to our advantage. Okay, now that we get the mechanics behind the glitch, we will now be pressing both buttons for toggle wire and build part. As usual, there is a slight priority to the toggle wire action first, but again, it should feel like you're pressing the buttons at the same time. And there you go, the game was under the impression it would place the wire, but because you replaced the part for the wire, it built a wall against the side like this. And that is the wire glitch. Now, since Frontiers, we also have way more control over that wire glitch, and that is why the banjo glitch, for example, has become somewhat obsolete. One advantage of the wire glitch now is that we have free rotation control over that wire. That means it's possible to wire glitch parts in any orientation you would like. Let me show you an example by using the flag. So, with the flag at hand, let us toggle to the wire and rotate the connector, let us say 45 degrees to the left, and then we wire glitch. The flag should now be glitched against the wall at an angle of 45 degrees. Compare this with glitching a flag without rotating the wire, you can now see it glitches horizontally. This is how you take even more control over your wire glitch. Now, with the wire glitch being much more versatile and other new glitches having great possibilities, I also have been using the blender glitch less frequently. But blender glitching is still the main technique you need to build perfect circles, no matter if you're using the biodome or the recently discovered technique by DrewCypher. Basically, the blender glitch is used to glitch parts on wire connectors. When this glitch was discovered, it was done by pulling a wire from one connector to another and glitch built the building part on that connector. Not long after, we also discovered it was not always needed to pull a wire, but we could simply glitch parts straight on the connector. With Frontiers, blender glitching has changed its behavior and most likely has confused many builders when they tried it at first. I don't want to talk too much about how it used to be before, as that would only cause more confusing, so let's focus on how it works now. I have set up a few light boxes here, which will be serving as our glitch points in this demonstration. Let us select the paver as the building part we want to glitch. With the paver at hand, toggle over to the wire menu. Now pull a wire from this light box here and connect the other end to the light box here. Now we simply need to do a wire glitch, which will glitch the paver on top of the connector of that light box. But there is something you need to be very aware of when you're doing the blender glitch. Let me explain that with the following example. Okay, let us now do a blender glitch again and pull a wire from both the left light boxes to the one on the right. Let me also just quickly take the time to show you that the paving is not really aligned with the connector of the light box. It actually followed the direction of the wire we used to glitch it onto the connector. This will be more noticeable if you pull a wire from here to here. Do you see the connector being angled with the wire? That means if I do the wire glitch, you will now see that the paving followed the direction of the wire we just pulled. In the meantime, you can also notice how this glitch came to be known as the blender glitch, as it allows you to merge parts on the same connector. As said, this technique is extremely handy for building of circles, but if you rather just glitch or blend parts on the same connector, there is no need to pull a wire. The blender glitch allows you to glitch straight onto the connector itself. All these techniques use the same buttons and rhythm as you would do a simple wire glitch. Before I explain the reverse wire glitch, let me jump over to my normal save, as I would like to show you a side effect of the wire glitch. As you can see, I'm not able to build the oxygen harvester, as I'm missing the life support shell to build it. That is where the wire glitch comes in handy. You see, you can simply wire glitch your harvester in place and it will be built even without having the resources for it. Also, deleting the harvester will return to you the materials you did not have before. Golden Gag was the one who shared this technique first, and with that the golden glitch was born. Alright, let us jump back into creative so we can show you the final wire glitch. The reverse wire glitch allows you to do the exact opposite of what a wire glitch does. That means, instead of using a wire to glitch a building part, you're using a building part to glitch a wire. I have prepared a power door right here because the connector is perfectly centered and will serve to keep the wire straight and untwisted. So, let us select a timber wall and position it here on top of this floor. To do a reverse wire glitch, we once again have to press the same buttons as we will be doing a wire glitch. If done right, the wall should have made place for the wire and it should be perfectly connected at the edge of the floor. We can now pull the other end of the wire to the powered door, which will provide you with a wire that is already straight, at least in one direction. Now you can even see better we have a connector perfectly located in the center and at the edge of your floor. Let us now select the wall again and place it on top of the powered door. Once again, we apply the reverse wire glitch, which gives us a wire in return. Connect the other end of the wire to the edge of your floor here, and that should now result in a perfectly lined up wire. This means we can now remove both the powered door and the angled wire. The only wire remaining now is perfectly straight and the connector perfectly faces upwards. Now we can use this wire as foundation for other glitches or just as a hidden power line. Alright, let us move on to the cache glitches. Cache glitches are relatively new and are the result of new building mechanics that came with Frontiers. As the title describes, you actually are storing a building part in the cache or the memory of the game and then later on take it out again to build it somewhere else. This is a really amazing tool and has been used like crazy by many builders, including myself. One of these techniques was the reversed adjacency, which allowed you to glitch backwards in the menu. But since then, newer techniques have been developed that made the reversed adjacency obsolete. So let us skip ahead and let me show you the ultimate scaling glitch. Now, while scaling can also be done with the technique I will be showing you after this, it is good to be aware of this technique as some people have different preferences to what technique they use for what. So let us open up the building menu and let us select a scalable part. For example, let us take this insulated flask. With the flask at hand, we are now able to toggle to the wire, which replaces the flask. If you place the wire now on the surface of the floor here, and then pull the wire outwards to here, and then toggle the wire again, you can see we have the insulated flask back. What you don't see right now is that the insulated flask is still tethered to the wire connector we placed before. I will explain this a little more later, but currently we are doing a tether glitch. Take in mind that the tether glitch is categorized as a non-glitch build, as it's more of a hidden mechanic in the game that allows us to use the wire as a kind of a rotational pivot point. You can notice that as soon as I lift the flask off the surface. As you can see, the flask is floating in the air, but it seems to be held by the wire. You know, the wire we placed the first time. But let's get back to that technique later on. So, with the flask at hand, we toggle the wire. Pull the wire outwards and switch back to the insulated flask. Now, scale up the flask. You of course could also scale down if that is what you want. Alright, now with the flask scaled, we can now do a wire glitch. Toggle wire and building at the same time. This should have now placed a scaled wire instead. Let me just pull an original wire next to it to show you the difference. This scaled wire now serves as a template to scale up other parts as well. Let me demonstrate this with a building part that is not scalable at all. So let us take this stone wall. We will be now storing this wall in our cache. We can do this by pressing both the buttons for toggle wiring and edit build. As with all previous buttons, the delay is minimal, so slightly priority to toggle wiring and then edit build. The delay is so small, it should feel like you're pressing the buttons at the same time. If done correctly, the first action on your menu should say place wire. And you also should see a building part lighting up blue when you're hovering over them. Okay, now we can move our cursor over the scaled wire here and duplicate it. As you can see, the connector is scaled up, so we have the scale from the template. The next thing we need to do is glitch from this wire to our wall. And we simply do this by wire glitching, which is toggle wire and place. And there we go, a scaled up part. Let me just build an original size here so you can compare with that. And this is the ultimate scaling glitch. The Universal Adjacency Glitch is the most recent technique that was discovered and has been currently one of my favorite methods of glitch building. Now, the name of this glitch might confuse you, as it can do much more than just glitching to the adjacent parts. The Universal Adjacency allows you to replace any part with any part from your building menu. For the example I will be showing now, you can find a more detailed guide in the description below. For this demonstration, I will be glitching glass corridors above water. Let us prepare a few regular corridors here. Alright, Now that we have a set of corridors, I want to replace the corridors with glass tunnels. As you all know, I'm not allowed to place these parts out of the water. We could of course do a wire glitch, but that method will make it hard to do any proper connections. So what do? We want to replace this corridor and replace it with the glass tunnel instead. So let us delete this corridor, and now we will be storing our glass tunnel in our cache. Remember, to store a building part in our cache, we need to press both toggle wiring and edit build. And there we go. To make sure you did this right, you should see place wire as the first action in your quick menu. Plus, you should see the building items highlighted as blue if you hover over them. Okay, with the glass tunnel in our cache, we will now duplicate one of these corridors here and position it here in the middle, at the location we want to glitch our glass tunnel. Now, we want to press the same buttons we would do for a wire glitch. That's toggle wire and build. That should replace the straight corridor with the glass tunnel we had stored in our cache. And there you have it, a glass tunnel perfectly snapped between the other corridors. As I mentioned before, we can also use the Universal Adjacency to scale any parts you want. While the ultimate scaling glitch is extremely handy in many situations, the Universal Adjacency is simpler and quicker. We start off with a scalable item, for example, the emergency heater. Let us place the normal sized one here, and then let us place a smaller one here, and a larger piece here. And now we can use these parts as a template for scaling other items. So let me select the wall again, as that is definitely unscalable. Okay, just to be clear, the wall we have here at its normal size is the same ratio as the emergency heater has. That means that each part has its relative ratio of scaling. There are no tricks where you can use another scalable part and then build even bigger walls. If I scale the emergency heater 3 times larger, the wall will also be 3 times larger. This goes for every building part. So let us store this wall in our cache. Now double check the menu again and then duplicate the emergency heater. Let us take the large one. By the way, we can also rotate that part if you wish to have a better placement. And we can finish it off by doing the wire glitch. The result is a scaled up wall. So let me build a regular wall again to compare. And this is how you can apply the Universal Adjacency to scale up parts as well. Now, before we end this guide, I would like to take just 1 minute to explain the Tether Glitch once more. This technique is categorized as a non-glitch, as it does not need any tricky button pressing. It is more of a hidden mechanic in the game. I am unsure if this was added intentionally by Hello Games, but it allows you to use the wire as a tether or anchor point. The example I will be using to explain this technique I used in a previous guide, but it's a good way to understand the power. We will be placing a cement bag in the cart following the surface of that cart. As you can see, if I would place a cement bag in the cart right now, it's not laying properly on the floor of it, it's more of hanging in there. So we will be using the Tether Glitch to fix the look of that. So first of all, we need the cement bag at hand. Once that is done, toggle to the wire. Place the wire on the surface of the cart and then pull the wire along the floor of the cart. As you can see, it follows the angle of it. Now toggle the wire again and the cement bag should be revealed. As you can see, it is following the surface of the cart. You are also able to scale it if you want to, so it fits in the bag, and then once you're happy, just place it. And there it is, the bag is nicely placed in the cart following the floor of it. And these are currently all the glitches available in 2022 for No Man's Sky. I will be sharing the relevant guides in the description in case you want to see more in-depth explanations of each technique. Anyway, this guide should be a great tool to either use for yourself or share with others that are interested in starting to build in 2022. I hope this guide was informative to you, and if you liked it, then a thumbs up would really be helpful. If you have any questions, then feel free to ask, and I would advise you to check out our Discord as well, as many builders there are great at helping out. I wish you all the best and good luck with your building projects this year. This was Beeblebum. Goodbye for now.